The seeds of sin will grow into trees of evil, and the fruit of these trees will feed the demons that create a garden of your suffering. But you are the gardener, and this is your garden, the garden of your mind. And if your garden is being overrun by invasive species, you cannot just sit and be overwhelmed. You have to start somewhere. Cleaning up the weeds, taking the bad trees and ripping them out, cutting off the roots, cutting off the supply of water and sunshine. You must know that nothing in your garden can survive without the water that you give. If you have struggled with temptation or addiction or anything else that you might consider a sin, what you will notice is that it always begins in the form of a thought, an idea. And this idea we either resist or we entertain. It all begins with a fantasy. And whether you resist or you entertain, you are still feeding it your energy. Energy is power. And so, step by step, you feed your energy to this temptation, to this seed of sin, and it begins to grow because it is stealing your power. And when your power is being stolen from you, you grow weaker, which is why you feel like a slave to temptation, to addictions, to any behavior that does not serve you. When it comes to negative thinking or worrying or being afraid, what you will find is that it always begins with a single thought. And in this thought, we react. We give our resistance, or we begin to entertain. And this thought, this seed, begins to grow. And before you know it, it is full blown in the garden of your mind and is dropping fruits with more seeds that lead to more of your suffering. But you have a power that is like Roundup for your mind. And this power is the fire of the Absolute, the light of God that dissolves all things. But few know how to harness this power. Think about it for a moment, why we feed the seeds of sin in the first place. What is it that determines where we focus our energy, what we give our attention to? Why do you care about some things, but other things you don't care about at all? I have never been addicted to heroin, and why is this? It's because I prefer methamphetamine. We can only give our attention and energy to things that we are interested in. And we are only interested in things that are related to the identity of who we believe we are. Now, we are born with genetic programming that causes us to be attracted to certain things. In this body, in this mind, there is personality. But the point of spiritual teachings and the spiritual journey is that we awaken to our higher nature, to a more universal truth. Because my body, my mind is different than yours, is different than everybody else's. But there is something within all of us that is the same. It is the same in dogs and cats and birds and dinosaurs and aliens and trees. The same divine intelligence permeating through all things. It is that which allows you to connect with another living being. And it goes by many names, but you may call it the divine essence of God within all beings. Or you can call it consciousness. And the expression of consciousness is awareness. It is infinite, it is eternal, it is all-powerful. But we are conditioned in this life to identify with our body, with our mind, and we are ignorant of our true nature as consciousness, as the awareness behind all of our experiences. And this awareness is the fire of God. This consciousness is like a blazing sun, and all that return to it dissolve back into it. But your mind and the minds of most beings on this planet are focused on being an individual person, on being a body, on being a human being, on being this mind. And so all of our energy, all of our attention is diverted into being personal, to living a personal life. And because of this, all of the things that are related to this person become absolutely relevant to us, and so we feed it our undivided attention. So if I identify as a person with a problem or with an addiction, then I cannot help but feed that addiction, that temptation, because my whole being is designed to focus on that. But if I take this mind and take it away from the identification with the body or with the mind and turn it back in on itself and realize my true nature as consciousness, then I begin to reserve my energy, and it is not being siphoned into personal things. It is not being lost to the problems of the body, to the problems of the mind. And so you no longer water the seeds of sin. And without your life, your energy, these negative things, the weeds in your garden, they cannot survive. When the demons come and surround you and begin attacking you, begin implanting negative thoughts and seeds of fear and worry, shame and guilt, the only reason that these things mean anything, the only reason that they can hurt you, is because you believe in that which is not true. You believe in illusion, and you are stuck in darkness and in unconsciousness. And in this world of darkness and illusion, they reign supreme, and that is why we become enslaved, because we are living in their world. But when you turn to truth, you enter into the light. And so what power does the darkness have in the presence of the light? It has no power. Only when your identity is placed onto the body or onto the mind, only then are problems experienced, only then is suffering experienced. We allow the demons in the garden of our mind, and they wreak havoc. But once you awaken and you place your identity on what is true, you become free. The first step is to recognize in this present moment the emptiness, the inner spaciousness within you. If you close your eyes and turn your attention towards your body, you will find that there is an ever-present silence, an emptiness, space. And within this space, there is a subtle vibration, a subtle radiance that is a presence. And this is the radiance of consciousness, the life force flowing through you. Most of us are too preoccupied with the things of the world to pay any attention to this. And so the more you pay attention to this, the more vibrant it becomes. And this radiance of consciousness is the source of all love, all joy, all peace. And it is the source of all harmony in our life. It is the source of life itself. And the more you can connect to this source of harmony, the more your world harmonizes itself, and your problems and the difficulties and the struggles begin to fade away. Because the only reason that they existed in the first place is because we have been living outside of harmony. We become aligned with what we give our attention to. So if we're always giving our attention to personal stories, to our problems, to how much we are struggling, to the stories in our mind, then we surround ourselves in a world of pain and suffering and struggle. And the moment you take your attention away from these stories, from this world, the world of illusion, the world of darkness, and you focus it on this life that is present within you right now, you align yourself with the highest truth, and you become the embodiment of what is good, what is right, what is holy, what is true, what is harmonious. And in doing this, you create a toxic and hostile environment to all demons, to all darkness, to all forces of evil, and they cannot penetrate the garden of your mind. And so these weeds of darkness, the trees of evil that have been implanted in our minds, they cannot survive, and step by step they begin to die. The addictions begin to fall away naturally on their own, because the only reason that we were stuck in them in the first place, because we were living in a false reality. We believed that we were in lack and scarcity, but when you connect to this life within you, it is the water in which you will never thirst again. But you must know that the forces of darkness will not allow you to go so easily, because they too desire to survive, desire to eat. And if we have become a source of fuel for them, they will fight. They will not allow us to become free so easily. And this is a good thing. When you live in illusion, you believe in the forces of darkness and demons and evil. And when you live in truth, you recognize that all are in service to the One. That there are no such things as demons, there are only angels in disguise. That these forces of negativity are here to help you, push you further, and motivate you back toward the light. In this recognition of truth, the forces of darkness have no power over you ever again, because you see through their lies and their manipulations, and you use them for your highest spiritual growth. And when you recognize this life within you, and you begin connecting deeper to it, you harmonize your life, and you grow closer to the light. And as your mind travels closer and closer, deeper into this eternal sun, all the parts of yourself that do not serve you, all of the things that have created so many problems, so much suffering, they will begin to dissolve away, and you will become free from them. And slowly but surely, the garden of your mind will be pruned. The weeds and the poisonous trees will begin to die off, and many good things will begin to grow. And you will recognize where you are, that you are in paradise, and that you have returned to the Garden of Eden.